Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. There's a lot been going on in War Thunder today, but it is time to kind of put a lot of it into a single video. This is going to be talking about the event that's going to be going over the next few days over the weekend, and also a sales bundle, which is going on too, plus also the good old changelogs, which have turned up as well. So there's a bunch of stuff going on. Let's get into it as always, and if you enjoy the content, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Let's get started. So first things first, there is an event going on in War Thunder basically over the next few days until the 2nd of September, so you have until next Monday to do this, and this is to celebrate the end of Operation Bagration, which was a large operation during the Second World War, where the Wehrmacht suffered a ridiculously insane defeat at the hands of the Soviets, basically losing around 400,000 combat soldiers. Bagration was very much one of the nails in the coffin of the German armed forces, but also a huge victory for the USSR on the Eastern Front, and it successfully ended on the 29th of August, so today, which is why they're celebrating its anniversary. The event, you get access to a decal for the Russians. All you have to do is play 3 battles using USSR vehicles of rank 3 or higher, and you'll get the Mound of Glory decal. And then also, if you win 5 battles using USSR ground vehicles of rank 3 or higher, you get yourself the Tank Forces General's Cap. This is a decoration which you can get, very similar to the French one that we just had. And yeah, if you want the decoration and you want the decal, you have until the 2nd of September, so make sure to get those over the weekend. The other part is there is a bundle going on, which is the Vindictive Bundle. This one has a bunch of Soviet vehicles together, the IS-2 Revenge, the T-3485E, the Peshka, and the IL-2, all of the packs together. And also, you get a unique title with it, which is the Victory Marshal title. It's basically 50% off if you buy all the items together. I'll leave a link in the pinned comment for this, and also a link which has my partner link attached to it, where you can get discounts with it, and also support the channel while using it, and also getting the decal of mine in the game. So we'll do individual reviews of each of the vehicles, and if you want the pack, or if you want kind of like my TLDW about it, I think this is a very good pack if you want to kind of like grind dailies and specials with these types of vehicles. They work pretty well together, and also at the same time will give you very solid premiums to get through a lot of the Soviet tech tree. So there are 4 vehicles that are on offer, and we're going to start off with the T-3485E. If you buy them all in a pack, you get the 50% off bonus, which is quite nice. If you already have all of them acquired, you actually get the title, the Victory Marshal, anyway, so don't worry about that if you don't have it. Along with the packs, you also get some extra stuff. So for example, for the T-3485 here, you get premium account for 15 days on top of the vehicle itself, which is pretty cool. So let's get into it. The T-3485E is a standard T-3485 with access to some chicken wire. We call this thing the Chicken Wire Express alongside the M46, because the idea is this additional armor gives it a little bit of heat protection, but to be honest, it really doesn't do anything. If anything, it sometimes actually makes it even worse. So this armor is just kind of additional weight. It's not huge, it's not massive, it's just the basic thing. The standard T-3485 that you'll find at 5.7 in the tech tree is incredibly similar to it, this one right here. They're both rank 4, meaning that you can research everything rank 5 and below at very good efficiency, which is quite nice. They have guns, which have access to the BR365K, and which is a very good round. It works incredibly well. And also, even though it has less HE filler than the 365, it has that little bit of additional pen, and if you know how APHE works, it really does hammer things. The only problem problem with this is in full up tiers, it struggles against heavy tanks, which are around. You have to flank them and annihilate them from the side, but this thing does have good mobility in order to do it, and also it does have funky armor around the machine gun ports, the upper glacis with this driver's hatch as well, and also just generally the cheeks. If you have a bit of desync with the enemy, it's going to be very hard for them to actually destroy you. It works really well in that way. So the T-3485E, I would say, is a very nice vehicle, part of an incredibly good lineup for the Soviets. You just have to worry a little bit about the up tiers. The IS-2 Revenge is at a meta BR right now. 6.7 is one of those which kind of sucks in everything around it, and one of the things that it sucks in quite aggressively is 7073 USSR. So stuff like the IS-3, for example, and the BTR, giving you an advantage against your enemies, because a lot of other nations, such as Germany, basically lost all of their 7.0 to 8.0, 7.0 to 7.7 vehicles, because they all went up in BR, because they were all really powerful. So this means that this vehicle is a bit easier to play. Instead of facing a lot of post-World War II vehicles, instead you face a lot of T-34s, the American heavy tank, and then also stuff like the Tiger II-H. Now, for me, I don't particularly like the matchup between this and the other heavy tanks of the game, so stuff like the Tiger II and the American vehicle. Basically, the advantages that you have with this thing is you have very good penetration on the round, and also good reverse. That's something that has to be said about this vehicle. It can reverse pretty well. The Dishka is really nice too, but it does have quite a few drawbacks. Really rough gun depression, and also at the same time, a really long reload on the gun. You can see even with an ace crew here, you're still 20.8 seconds, which means that if you have a look at something like the Tiger II, for example, not the 105 obviously, but the standard Tiger II, that can actually get off 2 shots, nearly 3 shots to your 1, and that just makes a huge difference in that type of fight. You do have a round, which as I said, pens a lot, and also at the same time has a lot of TNT equivalent. It will overpressure targets if it pens, so you will just one-shot things quite a lot of the time, which makes it quite nice. And also the armor profile isn't too bad. There's a lot of little spots on it which have a lot of armor on, so once again, if you are moving, which a lot of the time you should be in this thing, you can actually stop shots coming in, kind of by accident. The weak spots on the front of it, like you see here, 160mm, there's 180 on this upper glacis. That's going to stop most vehicles from firing in, and as I said, even if you're in an up tier, the Soviets actually have some very good vehicles between 7.0 and 7.3. T-44-100 is fantastic, the IS-3, the BTR is pretty good as a scout, and also the ZSU, whereas other nations, such as Germany, have lost that. So this is in a much more powerful position than it was before, and once again, as a rank 4, has a very good lineup at 6.7 around it nowadays to be able to run. The T-44, the 2 IS-2s, obviously the AAs, which are insanely powerful, and also the Su-100P. The IL-2M Avenger is a fantastic vehicle in order to get the strike aircraft dailies done and also specials, so stuff such as Meteor Shower, for example. This thing is a rank 3, so it can do all dailies and all specials in the game, and it's very good at just kind of grinding out in Air Realistic or Air Arcade those little things. It has the 23mm, these compare all the way up to the heavy tank AIs, so you can destroy everything with them. It also has a lot of Shikas machine gun ammo as well, so you can take out light targets as well. It also is pretty maneuverable in the first few turns of an engagement, so you can actually catch a lot of fighters off guard with the vehicle, and has a 12.7 turret in the back, which is very good at knocking out engines and also pilots of people that come after you. The vehicle is very much a multi-role aircraft in that sense. It's a very good strike aircraft because it can ground pound, and also it can go after other strike aircraft very aggressively. And also in ground forces at 3.3, it also can do very good with the 23mm because of the fact that these things can pen nearly 50mm and also do a lot of post-pen damage too. So at 3.3, you actually have quite a random lineup for the Soviets. You have the ZSU-37 and also the first T-34. But generally, you could take this up to like 4.0 if you wanted, or even kind of 3.7 with stuff like the KV and still be very powerful. because at 4.0 you can even bring along the SU-152 or the BTR-152D and make this kind of a rank 3 lineup, which means you can do all the dailies and specials with it. So the multi-role capability of this is very good. It also has access not just to bombs, but also to rockets. The rockets aren't great. The bombs are probably a better way to go. I just run the 250s just because in ground it's a lot easier to hit targets with that, and then follow up with the cannons. That's basically what I do with this vehicle, and it works very well. The Peshka is a waste of time and energy. I have never liked the Peshkas. I have no idea why they're at the BRs that they're at. They are jack of all trades, master of none, basically meaning that they have a lot of interesting parts to them, but overall don't really do anything well. This vehicle specifically, the PE2205, has access to a 12.7 and also a 7.62 in the front, and then for defenses, you have two 12.7s, one above, one below, and then the 7.62s on the side. The engines, so the VK105s, they're not very fast, and the vehicle itself isn't very fast for 3.7, and at the same time, its secondary loadouts, you can bring two 500s, which, you know, is pretty decent, and also some rockets and some 100s, and the 250s. So if you want to kind of like ground pound at 3.7, you can use something like this in something like ground forces. If you're having a look at Air Realistic or Air Arcade or SIM, there are just much better options for hitting ground targets or hitting bases. It's just one of those vehicles that's in the middle of everything and doesn't actually do anything great. For example, since this thing is a 3.7 in ground forces, think about the better options you have. You have the IL-2M, which is literally right here, much better aircraft to be able to use. And then you have the I-185 M82, the LA-5FN, the other IL-2s, which are in the tech tree, and you even have stuff like the Year 2, which is here, where you can bring this insane bomb load if you really want to kind of give it a go. Because the Peshkas cannot defend themselves, they do not have good bomb load, so I just don't get why you would take this thing over a lot of the other options in the Soviet tech tree. So that just kind of sucks. It's just in a pretty rough place. So, in conclusion, T-3485E, very good for its BR, very nice lineup. IS-2 Revenge, same thing. IL-2M, very good as well. Peshka, worthless. So this is kind of the unfortunate non-diamond in the rough. There was also a little changelog which happened, update 2.37.0.168. Basically, it just has some stuff from the data mine that we saw the other day, but it's properly implemented. So for the AV8B+, all of the variants of it in the game, there was the incorrect ammunition count shown on the hood, so that's now been fixed. And also, there was a bug that caused the standard camouflage to be selected, even though the auto selection could have selected a more appropriate camouflage for the current location, so that's also been fixed. And the incorrect zoom effect for ultra-wide monitors, such as 32:9, has been fixed too. So, not a huge update, but nice little bug fixes here and there. There is also another small bit of news which is about the research bonuses. The testing period has concluded for them, so basically it is now over, and it would be nice to hear your thoughts about it, you know, in the comments, and also make sure to let them know on the forums what you felt about it. I personally thought it was pretty positive. You know, I saw a little bit of a nice addition, especially when I was playing Italy, grinding out some of their ground vehicles there. But for me personally, the major things that I would like changed is the stuff I talked about in the video about it a few days ago. You know, rank 1 to 3 having a look at, and then also some kind of vehicle bonuses too, instead of just nation bonuses, and then maybe also at the same time being able to prioritize a nation over others, so you could increase the bonuses on that one while decreasing or removing bonuses from the other. That to me would be the things I would like to see worked on, but also at the same time, the overall testing period, nothing broke, it worked, so testing-wise, I think that's pretty good. The only thing that needs to change now is, of course, the numbers that are involved. But let me know what you think, and as always, hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. I'd just like to thank GMG Smiley, CD Beans, Chieftain Mike, EMN3 Galaxy, Tulio Pontecovo, Brendan Quinn, Carrion Crow, Gus Irenicus, Pyman, Wartinder, Teddy, Daniel Stanton, Martinez, B. Young, Ozzy Panzer, Alan Hacker, Liam Shear, Opium Prime, Lafouche, Sem Aslan, Uncle Bean, and Derek R. for supporting the channel.